Dr. Tony back with Simply Holistic. Past few videos we have been glossing over most of the body's hormones while kind of touching a little bit more deeply on a few of them. Well, I'm going to continue this glossing over part in this video. There's over 70 hormones that we know of in the body, so it takes a few videos to really be covering them. So we're going to continue that gloss over of most of them here. ANP, atrial natriuretic peptide. This increase, it's to do with your heart, by the way. The heart, as I've mentioned a few times before, a few other videos, it's cardiovascular, it's electrical, it's glandular. This is a hormone from the heart, a hormone from the heart. This hormone increases your sodium and GFR excretion. Increases sodium excretion, the salt, increases your salt excretion, pushing it out. This part, however, I find amusing. Just the wording, how they write this stuff. Antagonizes venal constriction. Antagonize venal constriction. This is a heart hormone. Heart hormone. Antagonize, which usually means it's going against, right? Somebody antagonizes you. They're going against you. Antagonize. Aggravate. Yeah, let's aggravate. So aggravate or going against venal constriction. Going against the veins constricting. So what's it mean? It opens them up. This heart hormone opens the veins up. So it increases your salt excretion and pushes it out. It antagonizes the venal constriction, so it stops it from constricting. It opens them up. Can we just say it opened the veins up? All right, brain natriuretic peptide, BNP. The other's ANP, this is BNP. Also from your heart. To a minor degree than ANP. That's how it's written. I'm telling you, that's how they wrote it. To a minor degree than ANP. Reduce blood pressure by reducing systemic vascular resistance. So the ANP antagonizes venal constriction. So the ANP loosens the vessels up. Boom. The BNP, it also loosens the vessels just at a lesser degree. So it reduces systemic vascular resistance. Hold it back. Reduces that resistance. Okay, yeah, let it go. The BNP reduces systemic body-wide vein resistance. It reduces the blood water also. Blood water, sodium, and fats. Reduces blood water, salt, and fats. So it takes the water out of your blood, the salt, and the fat tissue. So I'm going to watch how activated that one is. Again, we can test for this stuff through this office. CT, calcitonin, a construction, and we did a video on that one several videos ago when we talked about bone health. We did a series on that. Construct bone, reduce blood calcium. That's what this hormone does. You need bone health. Like you need heart health, you need bone health. Constructs bone, reduce blood calcium. Reduces the blood calcium. How's it do that? Stores it in the bone. Constructs bone, pulls the calcium out of the blood, puts it in the bone. Got it? Calcitonin. cytokinin. This is from your duodenum, part of your digestive tract, part of your digestive tract. This hormone releases digestive enzymes from your pancreas. Release of bile from gallbladder. Hunger suppressant. This hormone is a hunger suppressant. Releases digestive enzymes in pancreas, releases of bile from gallbladder, which helps you with going to the bathroom, by the way, and suppresses hunger. So it helps you go to the bathroom and suppresses your hunger. Stops you from taking stuff in this way, pushes it out that way. Yes, detox effect. Corticotropin releasing hormone, CRH. Releases ACT from the hypothalamus, by the way. This comes from the hypothalamus. Releases ACTH from the anterior pituitary. This hormone helps influence the ACTH from the pituitary. Cortistatin from the cerebral cortex, your brain. The function is the depression of neuronal activity. Depression of your nerve activity. Instead of, being on fire and being jittery and being depression of your nerve activity. Induction of slow wave sleep. Reduction of locomotor activity. The locomotor. Your muscle activity. The nerve fibers, the signals that are telling your muscles the motion. This reduces that. So, like, for example, involuntary muscle spasms. Perhaps we need to look at this hormone. Epilepsy. Perhaps we need to look at this hormone. Reduction of locomotor activity. Activation of cation selective currents not responsive to somatostatin. Cation that goes way deeper. Pluses and minuses. pH balance. I said pluses and minuses and left a drop. pH balance of your body overall, of your blood, too. Okay, but for this, the point I want to stick with. Reduction of locomotor activity. Depression of nerve activity. If you have an issue with your nerve activity and, maybe you are a nervous seeming person and you're that way, this hormone depresses the nerve activity. Maybe we need to test yours. Enkephalin, coming from your kidney, regulates pain. Hold on, there's a hormone that regulates pain, like a pain reliever? Well, it sure ain't going to cause pain. So yes, natural pain reliever. And just like the powerful pain relievers are opioids, this goes to your opioid receptors. Yes, hormonal pain reliever. Did you know there was such a thing? Hormonal pain reliever. Endothelin. Tied to your vascular endothelium, the veins, the blood vessels. This hormone. The effect, smooth muscle contraction of medium-sized vessels. So your veins. See, I told you there's multiple types of muscle tissue. Striated, smooth muscles, your heart and with your veins. ladies, as part of your reproductive system, smooth muscles. Smooth muscle, it's still contracting, or it still needs to contract though. Things just move across it differently. So smooth muscle, contraction of medium-sized vessels. Your vessels need to be able to contract also as your blood's pumping through them. The vessels need to be able to contract also. EPO, coming from the kidney, tied to the kidney, stimulates erythrocyte production. Me, when these words just finally it's like a waterfall to me. Enough of them pile in, and the tongue starts just. What am I supposed to enunciate now? Okay. This hormone from your kidneys is to do with your red blood cell health. Red blood cells are part of the panel, no names given, the initial panel that we do on people. Oh yeah, I got that highlighted. Don't need to show too much of that. Cover. Okay. Forgive me if that name actually showed. The red blood cells. Okay. This hormone, tied to your kidneys, is to do with the health of the red blood cells. The red blood cells are part of what's shown on this, what I consider my standard panel through this office. We look at your white blood cells and your red blood cells to an extent. Your red blood cells are part of, if you're told you have anemia, that's to do with the red blood cells. The iron content of your blood is to do with your red blood cells. This hormone, tied to your kidney, is to do with your red blood cell health, which is to do with your iron level, which is to do with your anemia. See in the circle there. Okay. Follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. Yes, this is on your hormonal panel. We look at this right from the start, from the first session. Comes from the pituitary. In females, this stimulates the maturation of the follicles in the ovary. Yep, follicle stimulating hormone. This and your LH, ladies, the FSH and your LH work together. They should be in certain ratios. If everything is good, it's healthy between those two hormones, they should be in certain ratios. Otherwise, if the hormonal balance between these two is off, it indicates to me one direction is menopause, another direction is PCOS. Two seemingly completely different, unrelated health conditions, right? But yet they are both indicated by the ratio of this FSH and the LH in your body. They can show me either way that your reproductive system is actually going or is at. Every single cycle, every one of your monthly cycles, this follicle stimulating hormone is causing causing cysts in your ovaries. Every single cycle. This is healthy. It's a natural part of your cycle. It is a natural part of your cycle. You are developing cysts in your ovaries. Thing is, those cysts shouldn't last long. And then the follicle, the cyst, goes back down and gets reabsorbed into your ovary. It should not last. If, however, that cyst stays, then you're developing ovarian cysts, which, again, shows by this number, this ratio, not this particular number, this ratio. Yes, it is something we do on the standard hormonal panel for you ladies. So we do it right from the start, from the first appointment. Okay, moving on past that. Galanin, tied to your central nervous system and gastrointestinal tract. The effect, modulation, and inhibition or limitation of action potentials in neurons. So again, we go back to the nervous system, the activation or the suppression of your nervous system. This hormone limits the potential of action in your nerve cells, nerve cells. So there's a couple of hormones that we should be checking if you are, again, going back to the other example, if you're one of those that's always nervous, you're always nervous, maybe we should check these two hormones. And there's others. Gastric inhibitory polypeptide. Coming in two places from your digestive tract, your intestines, the small intestines. This hormone induces insulin secretion. So that goes back to the pancreatic function. This hormone causes insulin secretion. Gastrin, coming from your digestive tract, impacts the secretion of gastric acid by parietal cells, gastric acid. We need the acid to break down the food, especially initially. We need that. This hormone has to be working properly for that to happen. Ghrelin, I think of, oh my gosh, the name of that old movie just left. Gremlins. I think of gremlins when I see this word, ghrelin. I just think of gremlins. Okay, comes from your stomach, stimulates your appetite. Also the secretion of growth hormone from a pituitary. So again, if you're not hungry, maybe we need to test this hormone. And there are a few of you, well, probably more than a few, that you make yourself eat because you're really just not hungry. You're just not. Just food, not. Eat one time a day if you're good. If you're lucky. You have to make yourself do that. Maybe we should test this hormone. Glucagon, coming from your pancreatic function, increases your blood glucose level. Blood sugar. Increases the blood sugar level. Then we have glucagon-like peptide, resulting in increased synthesis and release of insulin. It takes the insulin to bring the blood sugar into the cells. Okay. Yep. I need to speed up through here. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH. Release of, coming from the hypothalamus, and the impact is the release of the FSH and LH from the anterior pituitary. And as I said, the FSH and the LH are what I look at the ratio in this office here with your hormonal panel, your initial hormonal panel. I'm looking at the ratio of those two, which comes from the GnRH from the hypothalamus, to see, is your body showing menopause, showing ovarian cysts, which way is it going, or is it normal? So that's related to the GnRH, to your hypothalamus. Another growth hormone releasing hormone, GHRH. So GnRH, GHRH from the hypothalamus releases growth hormone from anterior pituitary. Growth hormone releasing hormone releases growth hormone. Hepcidin from the liver inhibits, stops, or limits iron export from cells. Is your red blood cell count revealing you have plenty of iron in your blood? This hormone limits the iron export from the cells, not to the blood, not from the blood. Iron export from the cells. So if you got iron in your cells but it's not in your blood, maybe the iron's showing low, and pharmaceutical doctor would say, oh, you've got anemia. You're anemic because it's not in your blood. Is it in your cells? Is this hormone overactive, stopping the iron from going from your cells into your blood? Is that what's happening? Maybe we need to test it. HCG. Ladies used to use this for weight loss. Promotes maintenance of corpus luteum during beginning of pregnancy, inhibits immune response toward the human embryo. Yet, pharmaceutical doctors used to have ladies use this for weight loss. Human placental lactogen, HPL, increases production of insulin and IGF-1, increases insulin resistance and carbohydrate intolerance. Insulin resistance, which is something we watch for in this office, big time, and carbohydrate intolerance. Carbohydrate intolerance. Do you think that your body doesn't tolerate carbohydrates? Well, you're taking carbohydrates in whether you realize it or not. But do you think that your body doesn't tolerate carbohydrates? Maybe we need to look at that. Growth hormone. Kind of goes without saying, I would think. Anterior pituitary stimulates growth and cell reproduction. Growth hormone stimulates growth and cell reproduction. Inhibits production of FSH. Is your FSH value off? On that ratio of FSH to LH, is the FSH off? Maybe we need to look at this hormone and see if that is the cause of it. Insulin. From the pancreatic function, we look at that regularly. Intake of glucose into the cell. That's what it does. Liver, muscle, blood. Intake of fat into the cell. Insulin-like growth factor, IGF. Insulin-like effects regulate cell growth and development. Coming from your liver, though, not the pancreas. Leptin from your fat tissue. Leptin decreases appetite and increases metabolism. So the decrease in the appetite is not always bad if the increase in metabolism comes with it. Most of the time, that's not how it happens. Your appetite decreases and your metabolism tanks at the same time. Going back to the example, I just don't have food, eating, no, I just eat, no, meal, no. That's where you are, but the metabolism is also in the tank. Therefore, this hormone is not part of, this would increase your appetite, your metabolism. It may be decreasing your appetite, but this should also increase your metabolism, which means increasing your energy. If it's increasing your metabolism, it is increasing your energy. It's burning the fat from your body, burning the fat. If that's not happening, this hormone ain't part of the process that's going wrong. Am I really? Okay, a little bit more. Lipotropin, LPH, from the pituitary. Stimulates melanocytes to produce melanin. Color on your skin. Let me clarify that last one, since I know I was kind of jumbled up on it. If the leptin is not operating as it should be, if it is operating as it should be, it will decrease the appetite, and many of you ladies experience that. Just food, eat a meal, and your husband or boyfriend saying, "Come on, honey, you need to eat. You gotta eat. You gotta keep going," and you're saying, just. Well, logically, we would think, okay, then this hormone leptin is actually working because my appetite's just gone. But the flip side of that is it increases the metabolism, which is the fat burning, or it leads to fat burning. Metabolism leads to fat burning, leads to energy. So if you have the loss of appetite, food's just, but you don't have the increase in energy, You're not burning the fat. You're not seeing the appetite decrease from leptin. That's what I was trying to get at. You're not seeing the appetite decrease from this hormone. Okay, leptropin just covered that. LH, that was the other one in the ratio with the FSH. Luteinizing hormone coming from pituitary in female ovulation. So, the LH-FSH, one ratio of it says menopause. Not going to be ovulation anymore. The other ratio of it says PCOS, ovarian cysts. You can still have ovulation with that, but you have cysts that you're battling also. We treat that effectively here. Melanocyte stimulating hormone. Anterior pituitary. Melanogenesis by melanocytes in skin and hair. Skin, hair. Melanocytes. Forgive me. MLN, stimulates gastric activity. Small intestine. Gastric activity. Keep the food moving along. Digestion happening. Keep the food moving along. Orexin from the hypothalamus. Wakefulness and increased energy expenditure, increased appetite. So we have cortisol that should be spiking in the morning to help you wake up, and orexin, which should be activated from the hypothalamus to help you wake up and increase your energy expenditure, increase your appetite, which means in the mornings you should have an appetite. Hello, who did I just hit there? Who did I just nail there? In the mornings you should have an appetite if this hormone is operating as it should be. Osteocalcin from your skeleton favors muscle function, memory formation, and energy expenditure. Oxytocin from your pituitary. Release breast milk, stimulates contraction of cervix and vagina, orgasms. Involved, I swear my eyes didn't move ahead to see the next phrase. Involved in orgasm, trust between people, circadian homeostasis. Oxytocin is involved in all this. Or pitocin, known by either. Pancreatic polypeptide. Self-regulation of pancreatic secretions, endocrine and exocrine, internal and external. It also affects hepatic glycogen levels and gastrointestinal secretions. For pancreatic polypeptide coming from the pancreas, self-regulation of the pancreatic secretions, which, by the way, insulin is one, and C-peptide is one. Parathyroid hormone coming from the parathyroid, increased blood calcium, indirectly stimulates the tearing down of bone, because in order to have, think this through, in order to have more calcium in your blood, your bone then has to be torn down. Tear down the bone, release the calcium comes into your blood calcium levels raise. Comes from your bones. Parathyroid hormone does this, triggers this. Calcium comes from your bones into your blood. Then calcium reabsorption in the kidney, you're going to pee it out. Activate vitamin D, slightly decrease blood phosphate, so if your bones are getting weaker because you're having more, and I did a series of bone videos, if your bones are having more withdrawals than deposits, maybe we need to check out the parathyroid to see why there are so many withdrawals, not enough deposits. pituitary adenylate cyclase activating peptide. Stimulates enterochromaffin-like cells. Neuroendocrine. Neuroendocrine. So it's a gland, but also nerve cells. Neuroendocrine. This is tied to, again, your nervous system and your digestive tract. They're not always a separate thing. Prolactin. Milk production of mammary gland, sexual gratification after sexual acts. Keep it straight. Prolactin releasing hormone. Hypothalamus. Releases prolactin from the anterior pituitary. Relaxin. Unclear in humans. It relaxes you. It's another one that does. Renin. Activates the renin-angiotensin system by producing angiotensin of angiotensinogen. Did you get that? It's from the kidneys. It causes vein constriction and increase in blood pressure. Renin. Renin from the kidneys causes vein constriction, which by default makes your blood pressure increase. Secretin. Bicarbonate from liver, pancreas, and digestive tract. Enhances effects of stops production of gastric juice. Stimulating secretin stimulates the digestion of fat and protein. Stimulates the digestion of fat and protein. So this needs to be working right also to help flush the fatty tissue from your body. Release it, use the energy, flush it. Somatostatin, or growth hormone inhibiting hormone, or growth hormone release inhibiting hormone, or, oh my gosh, how many names do they have for that? Action. Inhibits release of growth hormone from pituitary, suppresses the release of gastrin and secretin, and the vasoactive intestinal peptide, and gastric inhibitory polypeptide, and gastrointestinal system. This limits your GI system, lowers the rate of gastric emptying. So again, the food is sitting in your system, not going anywhere because it's not being dumped, released. This could impact how hungry you are, even how much you're going to the bathroom. Reduces smooth muscle contractions. Yeah, because if it's limiting the emptying of it, okay. Thrombopoietin, TPO. Produces platelets. You need platelets for clotting, for blood health. Okay. Thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. Secretes T4 and T3. So if your TSH is not where it needs to be, and we do check that on our standard blood panel, that's part of it. TRH releases TSH, stimulates prolactin. Vasoactive intestinal peptide stimulates contractility in the heart. Contractility causes vasodilation, increases glycogenolysis, lowers arterial blood pressure, relaxes the smooth muscle of the trachea, stomach, and gallbladder. Guanylin regulates electrolyte and water transport in intestinal epithelium, so not throughout the body, just in the intestines. The electrolyte and water transport in your intestines. Uroguanilin regulates electrolyte and water transport in the renal epithelia, renal tissues. Oh, holy cow, I went over. Okay. That wraps up this list of the hormones. Taking us 3 or 4 videos to get through them all. Find us at justsimplyholistic.com. Get yourself into our Simply Holistic office. Let's see which one of these hormones that you may need to have tested with your body to see what's going on or what might be triggering or stopping a process that we need to correct with you. So get your intake paper in here. Go through our gamut of testing. Let's go through your initial testing. Let's see where on this list of hormones that we need to further target to see what's going on with your body. With that said, we look forward to seeing and serving you soon.